The next part of our foundation, if we're going down from the slab, is the grade beam. The grade beam runs the perimeter of the slab, and it helps with load distribution, but it also mainly helps with the frost depth of the building. If you're in a really cold location, this will probably get deeper, and a lot of you already have basements in those cold locations, so you don't really have to worry about lengthening the grade beam per se. But a standard grade beam depth is about 36 inches. Now there's multiple ways to do this, and by now you might be wondering why we're not using the foundation tools. Well, I don't want to introduce another tool here, and these tools actually incorporate the use of different families, and a lot of people were running into issues with loading families, so we're just going to use what we have, and I find this method actually a little bit easier. So to create our grade beam, I'm going to go ahead and go into a ground view. Now I already have my slab here, and I need to go to structure and wall. We're going to make a structural wall here, and we can choose from something here, but we can also just edit one of the concrete walls. So there should be like a retaining 12-inch concrete wall. If you don't have this, we can change all of the materials here. We're going to edit the type, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to call it grade beam. Oops. I'm going to edit this structure here, and this is already concrete cast in place, but again, if you need to change it, you can hit the ellipses there and go to concrete cast in place gray. We're going to change this thickness to 18 inches. I'm going to hit OK. And everything else is OK here. You can actually change its function. This might help you, especially if you're starting with, if you're choosing one of these retaining walls, which are already structural walls, you can change this to foundation and hit OK. Not a completely necessary step though. So now what we can do is we can draw this in, or we can use the pick line tool, and we can easily hover over one of the edges of our slab, hit tab a couple times, and you can see the whole perimeter highlights. Now if I click it, you'll see that the wall is being placed on the center line. That's because I didn't change the location line. If you go into 3D, this is wrong, and we also messed up a couple of the parameters. So I'm going to Control Z that, and what we actually want to do is go to ground, and let's check a few of these things. We actually want the finish face exterior, that's the location line, and we want to change this, the base constraint, to be the bottom of the grade beam. We've already created this level, so you can easily, now you easily know where the bottom of the grade beam is, right? I'm going to change this base offset to 0. And the top offset is going to be up to level ground. So you can see that our grade beam is 36 inches deep. And now if we use the pick line tool, we've changed the finish face exterior, you can see that there's a new dotted line here. So we actually want to hover over slightly on the outside, tab over a couple times, and now when we place it, might take a second, you can see that there's an 18-inch grade beam that has been created here. So we can go to the 3D view, and this is fine if it gets absorbed into the foundation. If we look a little bit under, you can see at the bottom of the box here that we have our grade beam in place. So the next step, once we've done this, is to go ahead and add in the spread footing that goes around the grade beam, or under the grade beam.